Let's get controversial. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance you're holding a diagnosis in one hand and a lot of unanswered questions in the other. Your child has been assessed. The checklist has been completed. The label has been applied. And somewhere underneath the relief of finally having a name for what you've been seeing, there's a quiet feeling that the name doesn't tell the whole story. This video is for that feeling. I'm not here to tell you the diagnosis is wrong. I'm not a doctor. I'm not here to tell you to stop the treatment, question the doctor, or throw out the report. I'm here to offer you something the report doesn't contain, a framework that might explain not just what you're seeing, but why, and more importantly, what to do with it. That framework is human design, and specifically today, the manifesting generator. I'm Chris Kidowski. Let's talk about what happens when these two things exist in the same child. I'd like to read you something. Difficulty sustaining attention in tasks. Frequent shifts from one uncompleted activity to another. Often does not follow through on instructions. Difficulty organizing tasks. Avoids taking required sustained mental effort. Often loses things. Easily distracted. Impulsive, acts before thinking, difficulty waiting. That's from the DSM-5, the clinical criteria for ADHD. Now let me describe a manifesting generator. A child with an open responsive sacral center connected to a throat, designed to move fast, skip steps, pursue multiple passions simultaneously, drop what no longer has their energy, initiate before thinking, and sustain focus only on what genuinely lights them up. Read those two descriptions side by side and tell me where one ends and the other begins. I'm not saying they're the same thing. I'm saying they look identical from the outside, and that matters enormously for how you parent the child in front of you. The manifesting generator is built for speed and breadth. Their system is designed to move fast toward what's alive, exactly what they need, extract what they need, and release what isn't serving them anymore. Then move to the next thing. This is not a broken attention system. This is an efficient one. The MG child who hyper-focuses for 4 hours on something that lights them up, building, creating, exploring, making, and then cannot sustain 30 minutes of homework is not demonstrating inconsistent attention. They are demonstrating a sacral response system that is working exactly as designed. Their body is saying yes to one thing and no to another. The yes produces extraordinary focus. The no produces what looks to a teacher like an attention deficit. It's not a deficit, it's discrimination. The MG who skips steps is not being careless. Their processor is faster than the linear path. They intuit steps 2 through 5 and arrive at 6 before you've finished explaining number 3. This looks like impulsivity on a checklist. In the right context, it's efficiency that most adults would envy and kill for. The MG who starts 6 things and finishes 2 is not demonstrating a follow-through problem. They're building a mosaic of skills and experiences that won't make sense until much later, and then will make all the sense in the world. Here's the most important thing I want you to take from this video. Your child can have ADHD and be a manifesting generator. These are not mutually exclusive. One is a neurological profile, one is an energetic design. They can coexist, and they often do. What changes when you hold both is this. You stop trying to fix the design, because here's what happens when an MG child is treated only through the ADHD lens. The interventions are designed to slow them down, linearize their thinking, sustain their attention on things their sacral has already said no to. Some of that support is genuinely helpful. Structure, routine, and scaffolding can help any child, including MGs, navigate systems that weren't built for them. But if the only story you have is the diagnosis, if the only frame is deficit and disorder, you risk spending years trying to make your MG child into something their design will never allow them to be. And worse, you risk your child internalizing that story, growing up believing they are broken rather than built differently. When you understand your child is an MG, alongside whatever else is true about their neurology, a few things shift immediately. You stop fighting the speed. You start working with it. Give them information fast. Let them skip the steps that don't matter. Check the result, not the process. You stop pathologizing the breath. The six interests aren't a problem to manage. They're a library being built. Ask what they're learning from each one instead of pushing them to pick one and stick with it. You stop measuring output against generator children. Different design, different metrics. An MG going 3 deep, alive, things is not behind. They are exactly where their design is intended. You start asking the sacral question, does this still feel good? Does your body want to keep going? You teach them to locate and trust their own internal guidance system, so they know the difference between genuine completion and resistance-driven avoidance. And you tell them the truth about themselves, not the diagnostic truth, the design truth. You are fast because you were built fast. You are multi-passionate because you were built to be. You are not scattered. You are a mosaic in process. And every single piece is adding up to something brilliant and unique. If your child is a manifesting generator, whether they have an ADHD diagnosis or not, their soul print will show you the full picture, not just the type. Their specific sacral definition, their particular profile, the exact way their MG design intersects with their astrology and soul themes to create a blueprint that exists nowhere else on Earth. That blueprint doesn't replace any clinical support your child needs. It adds the dimension that clinical support can't provide, the cosmic story of who they actually are. Click the link below. I'd be honored to write it for your child. Next in this series, what if your defiant child isn't defiant at all? What if they're a manifester whose design has been systematically misread as a behavior problem? That video is coming next. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if this gave you a new lens for a child you've been trying to understand, share it with a parent who needs it. I'll see you in the next one.